let's take a look at our top selections.
Hi, everyone. The feature race on Saturday at Santa Anita is the Grade 3 San Luis Rey Stakes at 1.5 miles on grass, and it's a continuation of the long-distance turf series in winter at Santa Anita, and it follows the Grade 2 San Marcos that was run early last month. But the San Luis Rey is a little bit strange because it's a Grade 3, and it's a lower grade than the San Marcos. The $100,000 purse of the San Luis Rey is $100,000 less than the $200,000 San Marcos. And the reason it is unusual is because the San Luis Rey on Saturday at Santa Anita is a longer and stronger race than the San Marcos is. So sometimes class designations can be a little bit misleading, and they certainly are in this case. It looks on paper like Master of Foxhounds and Acclimate, 1-2 finishers in the San Marcos. It looks on paper like they're dropping in class into a Grade 3. They're not. They're actually going up in class. And the reason they are going up in class is because the San Luis Rey Stakes marks the comeback of the top long-distance turf horse in California, and his name is United. Now, a field of only 5 entered the San Luis Rey. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lineup. Not a great betting opportunity in a 5-horse field unless you can beat the favorite, and the favorite is going to be United. He's the best horse in the race. We'll talk more about him in just a minute, but Acclimate up on the front end. Master of Foxhounds defeated Acclimate last time out. Say the Word makes his first start since a troubled 11th place finish in the Pegasus Turf Cup, and Multiplier, who is a graded stakes winner, but he looks like he's a little bit outclassed, having been claimed for $50,000 2 starts back. On paper, it looks like there are 4 possible potential winners in this race. I'm going to draw a line through Multiplier. He's just not good enough at this stage of his career. But the other 4 starters all are, including Say the Word. Say the Word won the Grade 1 Northern Dancer at Woodbine last fall. And in his local debut, his California debut, and his first start for trainer Phil D'Amato, it was in the Hollywood Turf Cup last fall at Del Mar. And let's roll the tape and take a look at Say the Word. It's Acclimate up on the front end in the Old English Rancho silk setting the pace. But Say the Word on the far outside, rolling down the middle of the course. He finished like a freight train, but he fell short. He fell short behind a couple of good shippers, Colonel Liam and Largent. But Say the Word ran very well in defeat. That was going 1 mile, and how far was that race? Anyway, I should know off the top of my head. It's 1.5 miles, the Hollywood Turf Cup was. Now, after that race, after that good, solid California debut, Say the Word shipped down to Gulfstream Park. He earned his way into the Pegasus World Cup turf, but he had no chance. He was caught 5 wide on the first turn, at least 3 wide the rest of the way, and he completely flattened out in the lane and finished 11th in a 12-horse field. It was a throwout race. Maybe Say the Word was overmatched against Colonel Liam anyway, but with that trip, he just had no shot. Wide throughout, it was a throwout race. Say the Word returns from a 2-month break on Saturday in the San Luis Rey. He obviously is facing a little bit easier company, notwithstanding United, than he met down in Florida in January. And Say the Word, whose jockey is Mike Smith, because Flavian Pratt, who rode Say the Word in his 2 starts for D'Amato, is on board United. So Mike Smith picks up the mount on Say the Word, and Say the Word will be running late. If you're interested, go ahead and fire up Formulator and take a look at Say the Word's trip in the Pegasus turf. It was horrible. He had no shot. Okay, Say the Word is a contender coming from behind, but a couple other contenders are in undeniably sharp form, those being Master of Foxhounds and Acclimate. Master of Foxhounds is kind of interesting. A well-bred European-based colt. He was sired by Warfront and produced by a mare who is a sibling to Breeders' Cup turf winner Magician. But in Europe, Master of Foxhounds won only 1 of 6 starts. He was really going nowhere. And representatives of Rockingham Ranch, his new owners, purchased Master of Foxhounds and sent him out to California, and he showed up in the barn of trainer Richard Baltus. His first start in California, Master of Foxhounds, was horrible. It was no good at all. He just ran around the track. It was a 1 mile race, and he'd never really picked up his feet. After that race, Baltus changed his exercise rider. He changed some equipment. He switched jockeys, and he stretched Master of Foxhounds out to 1 mile 3/8, and he absolutely crushed the One Other Than. Off that One Other Than win, Master of Foxhounds jumped right into the Grade 2 San Marcos, and he got a fairly decent class test facing the likes of Acclimate. Let's roll the tape of the San Marcos stretch. Acclimate up on the front end, and Master of Foxhounds, who had enough tactical speed to keep Acclimate in his sights. An all-time great trip. Master of Foxhounds, when Rosario pushed the button, he was gone. He won the race going away. Acclimate ran okay in defeat, but this was Master of Foxhounds' day. Now, Rosario is down at Fairgrounds on Saturday, so Umberto Rispoli picks up the mount on Master of Foxhounds. And if his last start was legitimate, I don't see any reason why it would not be, then you have to respect Master of Foxhounds stretching out from 1 1/4 to 1 1/2. It's a little different ball game when you start adding on another 1/4 mile. So Master of Foxhounds, impressive going 1 1/4. Now he's going to try 1 1/2 on Saturday in the San Luis Rey. He can only win if he catches Acclimate and holds off United. He'll probably actually have to catch United as well. But the horse that I'm interested, if there is a gamble in this race, and I'm not sure there really will be, because in a 5-horse field, the odds generally reflect accurately the true chances of these horses. There are very few mistakes made by the betting public in small fields. In a big field, you can sometimes find a 6-8 to 1 shot slip through the cracks and start at 15 or 20 to 1. That does not happen in 5-horse fields. And that's one reason why 5-horse fields are just such a nightmare for bettors. They're just not attractive at all. But if there is an exception, it'd have to be Acclimate. Acclimate had been off for a year when he returned in the Hollywood Turf Cup. We watched that race a couple minutes ago, in which Say the Word finished third. That was a good comeback for Acclimate. Next time out, in a very curiously run race, it was a fast-paced race, for stakes race for Calbreds, and Acclimate ran okay. He finished third as the 9-5 favorite, and then last time out, he got worn down by Master of Foxhound. So 3 starts into his comeback, and Acclimate has yet to win a race. He lost the lead going 1 1/4. Why should you like him going 1 1/2? Because sometimes the longer they go, the slower they go up on the front end. And Acclimate, if he slips through the cracks at, say, 4 to 1, and I don't know that that will happen, I take a piece of Acclimate at 4 to 1, maybe even 7 to 2. But when all is said and done, even though Acclimate might be the better bet, the best horse in the race happens to be United. United finished second in the 2019 Breeders' Cup Turf at odds of more than 50 to 1. He backed that race up by finishing second in the Hollywood Turf Cup in late 2019. But 2020 was the year for United, and he put it all together at age 5 with a series of Grade 2 victories. He did not win them all. He started 6 times. He won 3 Grade 2s. And in his first start of 2020, well, it was February 1st in the San Marcos last year, as we take a look at United grinding out his very first graded stakes win. And when I say grind it out, United runs like a dirt horse. He does not have that wicked burst of late foot, that late turn of foot that you usually see by grass horses. But what he does have is an absolute will to win. And United followed up the San Marcos by coming right back 3.5 months later to win the Charles Whittingham. Again, like a dirt horse. He runs like a dirt horse, but he's been running exclusively on grass with a couple starts on synthetic, and he does not want to get beat. Right here, it looks like United is going to get swallowed, but he does not. He fights back late. He wins this race, and then he followed up by winning the Eddie Reed at Del Mar, and then he closed out his wins of 2020 by winning the John Henry a year ago. It was actually last September. He won the John Henry, United did, in front-running fashion. So I emphasize his running style is more like a dirt horse for this very reason. This year, at age 6, chances are very good that trainer Richard Mandela and this gelding's owners are going to switch United from grass to the main track. They talked about the idea last year. They almost did it in the Pacific Classic, but with the purse reduction last year, they opted to wait. But this year might be a different story. United is 6. We know he's a good grass horse. He's going to get this grass race underneath him. He could even start again on grass. But Mandela said early this week, it's too early to make plans for 2020, and I get that. But the truth is, they are talking about moving United to the main track for a couple reasons. His running style is the type that usually does better on the main track than it does on grass. And United, he trains very well on the main track. So there are reasons to go for bigger money, more prestigious races on dirt than United has been running on grass in 2020. And he had an outstanding campaign. Now, the question for United, who misfired in the Breeders' Cup, he took a bad step on the Keeneland turf course, misfired, finished nowhere. Maybe he wasn't good enough. Who knows? He's making his first start since early November on Saturday. And so I guess the question is he ready to fire first start back, or is this just a prep race to get him going? Well, Mandela said, and I quote, "It's possible he could need a race, but I don't think so." But I don't think so. That's the trainer of United talking about whether or not he thinks that United can fire first start back. Yes, Mandela believes he can. He worked a mile 2 weeks ago. Last weekend, he worked a mile and 1/8. And on Thursday morning at Santa Anita, United had a old school 3 furlong blowout 2 days in front of the mile and 1/2 San Luis Rey. So United is the class of the field. He should get a great trip sitting second or third behind Acclimate and or Master of Foxhounds. And we'll see if United can grind out the victory. The gamble in the race, if he starts 7-2 or higher, is front runner Acclimate. But the horse to beat is the class of the field. That's United, the most likely winner of the San Luis Rey Stakes, race 7 on Saturday at Santa Anita.